I want people's lives to be changed. That's my opportunity as an artist. That 45 minutes, that moment of interaction, that is the moment to shift something. I want shift. Hi, I'm Ju. I'm 1/3 of Blast Theory. The other two artists are Matt Adams and Nick Tandovanek. We make interactive work that is about political and social issues of today, often using technology. I'd like you to come downstairs to work with me. Come on in. This is the artist studio. I'll show you around the rest of the building in a minute. For me, this is a bit of a play space, a little bit. Sometimes the project manager works with us in here. We have had artist assistants in the past and they work in here. We have big project meetings in here, but this is the artist space really, so we can do whatever we want in here. We've just done a really massive project, Cat Royale. I thought that I would put the little sort of model of the space in so that you could have a look at that. This is what it looks like if you sort of can imagine this filled this entire space. It was really about understanding what goes on in AI that you can't really see, what goes on in cats that you, or us even, they're almost like proxies for us that you can't really see and understand. On one side of the room was a kind of viewing window where the cat welfare person could look in, and on the other side was where the sort of technical people were operating the live stream and the vision mixing and the robot overseeing the robot and the AI. We're now in a phase with the work where all of the research, all of the data that was recorded is being gathered and is going to be looked at side by side to go, okay, the cat's poo with cortisol on this day said this, the observation by the welfare officer was this, the AI's reading was this, so what is the position? So I think one of the things that was very apparent is that how it is not a standalone system without human intervention, and I think that's a misconception about technology and AI, that it's going to take over and lock us in the rooms and all that. It's the sort of the human versus the machine. Oh, we have a dog in the studio. Sorry, this is Greta. She wasn't allowed down here during the entire project. She's been banned, so she's being re-familiarized. I think we're not really the kind of artists that stay with one technology or one form, but I think the constant is public interaction, inquiry into things which we maybe don't know the answers of, but feel like they're important in our lives. When we started, a long time ago, 91, we didn't know what we were doing. We knew what we didn't like and what we did like. We had 8 technical people on the very first piece of work, but the technology was like slides, video projector, and someone had made the video projector. Desert Rain in '98 was about the Gulf War and the use of technology in training soldiers in game-like environments, and the fact that war was being played out remotely. When we did Kidnap, we kidnapped a Sunday Times journalist as a trial run, and we agreed with him that we would kidnap him if we could have the front cover of the culture section of Sunday Times. It's about pushing at the edges of discomfort. There are so many things to unpack in life. There's so many questions that are mysterious and curious and fun and bamboozling, that it's getting in there that you're in a more interesting place than just doing what you know all the time. This is an important space. So this is a sort of a storeroom. We've got our locked technology in here. Again, more things. We have a shop, so there's shop materials, all of the accounts above water level, so if it floods, the accounts are safe. So these are from a piece that we made called We Made Ourselves Over. We made over 1,000 of these. It was set in the future, and it was a set of about 5 films where in the future we decided that young girls or teenage girls would decide the future of society. We did 2 events. One was in Hull, and we got all of the phones to ring in Hull on one particular day, and then you could pick up the call, and you might be picked up in a cab or a car and driven, and there was a performer in the back and they would talk to you, and you would get given one of these. And these are the average weight and size of a human heart. So we gave them this so that they would take it away, and every time they looked at it, they would think hopefully about their potential to affect change in the future. I made one originally for my partner for Valentine's Day out of clay, and it came from there. Of course, there's lots of things that have gone wrong, and some things that have gone really, really badly wrong in projects when they're live, when they're up and running, not just in the lead up and not just afterwards in retrospect where you look at it and you go, oh my God. But in the moment, we did Can You See Me Now at Museum of Contemporary Art in Chicago. It was one of the biggest sort of places that we'd ever shown a work, and like all of the technology was just like, boom, it was gone. And like, I suppose in that moment, it was adapting to keep the sense of the work going. And I believe to this day, except for people hearing this and hearing the failure videos, that they didn't know. It's a bit like when you see actors on stage, they can show you that they fucked up, or they cannot show you that they fucked up. You know, that is a skill. Originally, this storeroom was for one piece of work. It was for Desert Rain, the piece we made in '98, which we toured around the world with a 17-ton truck. So it was just that piece of work was in here. And we were really, really emotionally attached to the work. And we thought that we would be able to restage it at some point, and that never happened. So slowly, bits and pieces of the work got sort of disappeared and recycled. That thing, there's a piece at the back there which says fragile. I think it's the only piece of Desert Rain remaining, which I won't let go of. What is going on in We Cut Through Dust? The inception of the project was that Manchester Street Poem were approached by Manchester International Festival to make a piece of work collaborating with another artist. And Manchester Street Poem, I believe, put together a group of people that they would quite like to work with, and we were on that list. So we did a sort of exploratory phase of workshops to see what they would be interested in writing. It was just brilliant because they just sort of started to go off in places I think they hadn't gone off in before. And one of those, when we looked at it, was about the future. So we wrote up a proposal, received the commission, and then just have been leaning heavily in the direction of trying to create, through all sorts of different writing exercises and workshops, material. And then my job since January has been blending between 11 and 12 people's writing into one story for this piece of work. So I'm a sort of writing blending machine at the moment. I think the best advice I would ever say to anybody who is early in their career or wants to be creative or anything is to just keep making work. I think there's no magic golden shot. The second point of the work is for me that the work isn't just the art in the middle, it's everything all around it. For me, that's what I love about making work. It's everything. It's everything. That's going in, isn't it? The sort of crazy dancing up.